Okay, it's time to hurt some feelings with this one. Okay, we have this clip of Tyla, right? The water girl, right? With the water song. I've already done videos on Tyla and whatnot, but I want to highlight something that Tyla says. She says the quiet part out loud. She says that she's saying what men have been lamenting about women, but the problem is when men bring it up, then all of a sudden we're incels and all this stuff. So we'll have Tyla snitch on herself in the entire female population right here.
Personally, I don't like guys that approach me. Like, no. I want guys that look like they don't want me. Ah. Me personally, I don't like guys that approach me. Like, no. I want guys that look like they don't want me. Ah.
Need I say more, fellas? Need I say more? But the problem is when men have we've been saying this. This is why, like, we like men know this. Men know this. But the problem is especially when men are bringing this up, men get called corny for perpetrating certain stuff. But we already know women don't. They are attracted to men that don't. They're so used to getting so much attention for just existing. They tend to be attracted to the guy that's not paying her no mind, that really doesn't care about her. And then what happens is they get intrigued by the guy that doesn't really care about her or looks like that doesn't care about her. And then when the guy knocks up the same woman and then they complain about the guy not wanting to be in her life. But I'm like, you literally just said I'm attracted to men that look like that they don't want me. So, in other words, you're liable to run into you're liable to be attracted to a guy that doesn't really want you like that, or not necessarily want you, meaning he doesn't want to make you the number one chick, meaning he has already plenty girls in his roster. He doesn't want to make you a priority. So you're liable to run to a guy that's only going to treat you like an option. And if he messes up and knocks you up and doesn't care, you're liable. Like I said, you're being liable to run into a guy that doesn't care about you. So if he makes a mistake with you, it's not going to change anything. But the problem is women are usually intrigued by guys that quote unquote don't care or look like they don't care. So they go out and try to prove them wrong. They go out of their way to try to prove them wrong. They'll continue to sleep with them so much to a point where it's like, wow, they catch feelings for the guy because they sleep with him so much to prove a point. Something happens. Oh, I didn't take my birth control. They we call it the keep a ninja child, right? They intentionally keep the guy's kid to see if that's going to change, or they just continuously sleep with him thinking that, oh, this punani is going to make him want me like the other guys. And this is why women run into many problems in the dating marketplace. Most of it is self-inflicted. And like I said, I don't want to see nobody in the comment section talking about, oh, this is an unhealed woman speaking. No. Particularly when women are at that age, in their 20s or in their teenage years, the guys that they are intrigued by are the guys that quote unquote don't care about them like that. Those are the those are the men that they are intrigued by. And those are the most important years. Because we already know past the age of 30 is not even love anymore. They're just looking for somebody to pay the bills. When you're dealing with, because I don't want to see no woman in the comment section talk about, oh, this is when you're dealing with an unhealed woman. I'm a real woman now. At age 45? No, we're not trying to hear that. Because by the time the man is 40, in his 30 or 35, whatever, he has options. If he has his money right, he has options. And now he can play the role of the man that quote unquote doesn't care because he has options. It's a sick cycle, but it's something that women could fix, but it's just their nature. It's just their nature. Let's look at the comments. Oh, so right here, it's very simple. Somebody says it right here. He says she gets too much attention. So when one does not give it to her, she finds it very interesting. And we could even bring it because it's not like I said, it's not like they love the guy. It's just they're just so intrigued. So they go out of their way to try to prove something. So I'm talking about she might not even be sexually attracted to you, but just you just ignoring her, it turns her on because she's just so used to men just bowing down to her. So for example, let me give you a personal example. Ever since I just stopped talking to women at work. That's what I do now. Like I don't it's not I do it to protect myself from rumors and all this stuff. That's what I do, right? So I do not talk to women unless if women are literally just like yelling at me, like, "Yo, hey, I'm talking to you," and I do that on purpose. So because I don't want to. So any, I make it to where it's that clear, and people be like, "Man, that's messed." No, because I know there's gonna be people watching, so people will automatically they'll look at him like, "Oh, he doesn't really. He's just a person that doesn't like to talk." Right? They'll do it like that where it's clear that they're initiating the conversation with me. But it's crazy where all the women that have been attracted to me or the women that have been really trying to get my attention are the ones that I'm not thinking about like that. I'm not saying they weren't cute. It's just I just wasn't thinking about them like that. And those are the ones I wouldn't even be able to tell. Or it didn't matter, like whether I smashed or not, it didn't matter. They could have moved away to Texas and I wouldn't have cared. Those are the ones that liked me the hardest. Because what initially happens is okay, they'll have a liking to you, or there's something about you that they like, whether it's your face or you play sports, you do music, it'll be just something that they like about you, and then they'll inquire about you, but you kind of give them the cold shoulder. For some reason, it works. I don't know why that is, but it's just when you're dealing with most women, especially when you're younger, this is what happens when you're dealing with women like that. Is just they just get intrigued by the guy that doesn't give her attention. But this is but that personal example I gave you, just in general, it bleeds through. It bleeds through. Like so, even like just even in life, I've had more women approach me and be like, "Oh, you do know I like you," and this you're just like, "Oh, I didn't know." But it seems like when I'm not chasing women, this is where it's like it seems like it works in inverse, where I'll be at a venue or somewhere where I'm not looking to be with a woman, and I'll just be so focused in what I'm doing. I'll have a woman approach me and do this and blah blah blah, and you'll even have a guy or another girl come up to me and be like, that was my friend. She was feeling you, right? And you'll be like, I didn't notice. And I'd even look at it as a fumble. I still don't look at it as a fumble. I'll just like, oh, okay. But for some reason, those are the women that you're not trying to chase, even if you like her a little bit, but it doesn't really sway you one way or the other. What happens? What happens to her? You can move on with your life. They try the hardest. They'll try the hardest because they're just so intrigued that you're not giving her attention. You know, and like I said, when I do this, when I intentionally, like, say, if I'm at my job or if I'm doing a gig or whatever, I'm not doing it to prove a point. It's just I want peace in my life. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get in trouble, so I try not to really deal with women unless if I have to. You know what I mean? But it seems like it works in inverse. It works in inverse. When you're not seeking women attention, or if you're just not desperate, it's like they can smell when you're desperate, especially if you're like the average dude. They can smell when you're desperate. So it is what it is. Let's check more of the comment section. Somebody said the F is she saying? It's clear what she's saying. Somebody said the definition of insanity. Well, we could say it's insanity and all that, but like I said, men and women are different. Men and women are different. That's this is why our channel is here. This is why our channel is here. And I don't want people acting like it's just Tyla. I don't want people acting like it's just Tyla. That's most. That's most women. That's most women, guys. Somebody said, I think most women understood her so well. Exactly. Somebody said, this is why I'm getting stalked by the ones I don't want and ignored by the one I want. That's what be happening. Or, you know, like this is why I always say guys in the friend zone. I just believe if you're a guy and you're friends with a female, you're playing yourself because she knows, she knows as a man you want her sexually. She knows it. She knows it. And the more you stay in that friend zone, you lose value. But many men will tell you that if the few men that did leave the friend zone, they were able to leave the friend zone. Why? Why do you think they were able to leave the friend? The few that have left the friend zone were able to successfully leave the friend zone as an average guy. Few things have occurred. They were able to. They probably had other women hollering at him during that time, and then she started acting right, or he became famous, or the guy ended up getting into some money. And people say, how does that relate to this? Because when you get these things, it gives you options. And men with options cannot be controlled by an average broad. They can't, especially if a man that knows his worth and he has options. This is, and even though women hate guys like that, but they're so intrigued by guys like that, so they just want to just be around a guy like that. It intrigues them that they can't really control him. It intrigues them that they could just be discarded. It's almost like it's a challenge because they're just so used to just getting free attention just for existing without putting in no work. So then they get around a guy, or they'll know a guy, and then he'll get a boost in status, which will give him options, and then all of a sudden she starts acting correct. Somebody said you can't make this stuff up. Somebody said lost generation. He said they just saying anything at this point. But I think men need to understand. Men need to just accept that's just how women are. And it's kind of hard for men, like logic, because in our brain it just doesn't make sense logically. But you got to understand, women don't operate on logic. They operate on how they feel. They operate on feelings. They don't operate on logic. They operate off emotions and feelings. This is why I always tell men, you're really not supposed to be listening to women when it comes to them complaining about the men in their life, because they're not operating from a logical standpoint. They're operating from an emotional and feelings, standpoint. So you're not going to get the real story. You're not going to get what's really happening to her. Because you're going to see her change her tone in what's
Me personally, I don't like guys that approach me. Like,
so when she said, I don't like guys that approach me, right? So obviously Tyla's saying that now, right? Now Tyla's going to be approached for a long time because she's petite, she's young, she's pretty, right? But when it maybe 10 or 15 or 20 years down the line, right? 15 years down the line, she's going to be like, why are men not approaching me? You know what I mean? Now it's almost the men that she doesn't value, that, like I say, the most women don't value men just approaching her because she's just so used to the attention. There's no value in it for her. There's no value in it from the average bro. That's why I always say it's pointless for men to cold approach the average woman nowadays. It's pointless, So this is the stuff that men have to accept. If you want to deal with women, just understand the ones that they usually chase are the ones that really don't care about them. That's just it is what